I have some really awesome news to share with you guys. It just broke like 15 minutes ago when I started recording this. So, the dev team for New World actually listened to us. That's right, you guys went to the forum, you guys bitched, you guys told them how they should do it, shouldn't do it, and they listened, and they have walked back big parts of the GYPSUM and expertise system. And the changes that they made are amazing. Absolutely amazing. I am absolutely thrilled about this change now. Everything about this change sounds perfect now. Not perfect, but really close to perfect, which is great. Because I already liked the change. Change was great, but now the change is way better. So crafters, you guys are going to be happy. People who bought gear, you're not going to be perfectly happy, but it's going to be okay. And just, I don't know, everyone in general is going to be happy, other than the hardcore monster killer people are going to be like, well, crap, now other people can have gear too without killing monsters. I hate you all, but you know. That's how it's going to be. Okay, let me show you this post. Okay, this was from a New World dev just recently. And it was by Zin Ramu. And this was an update to an existing thread. I'll link this thread in the description. Thank you all for your continued feedback on the expertise and GYPSUM system. Whenever possible, we want to share upcoming changes and discuss them with you so we can build a better game together. Your feedback on this system has greatly improved the direction. So thank you again. That's right, guys, we did it. We did it. It's us. It's me, Smile. Okay, before diving in, I want to be clear that we are dedicated to not reducing the power of players in the world, other than cases addressing bugs and imbalance problems. The rest of this post details how we are achieving that while retaining the benefits of the expertise and GYPSUM system. The big change. In early 2022, when we start reducing the effectiveness of gear to your expertise level, we will exempt the following items. Now, this is the biggest one that I heard a lot of complaints with, and I agree with this 1,000,000%. Sorry if you guys don't, if any of you don't agree, but I agree personally. A lot of people do. Any item you craft is exempt from that gear score effectiveness nerf. So if you craft a 600 gear score item and you put it on yourself, it is 600 gear score no matter what your watermark is. Does not matter. That is amazing. So now if you guys sit there and go, I want to get my crafting. Well, here's the one. Okay, and people are unhappy about this. I gotta like you gotta think about this. There are people who bought this game and spent 500 hours gathering their own materials on a low pop server with 50 people online at any time. They gathered their own materials. They got all their crafting to 200. It took literally like 400, 500 hours because they couldn't just do gold cheats and then just buy them stuff on the trading post. And then those people are like, okay, this is the game to me. This is what I did in this game. And then they go, and you only call your gear. So for those people, I am so happy to hear this. Like for all of you guys who did anything even remotely like that, I am so happy for you guys. They listened to you, and they're actually going to do that, and I think this makes perfect sense. Then we got the next one, which is any item you earn from a quest, which is just like a no-brainer. I'm so glad they did this. It makes so much sense because the legendary weapon quest literally made no sense after this change. So that is great. That is awesome. And that leaves wiggle room for them to add quests in the future for gear that could also help new players who are coming into the game. Like quests for a legendary chest piece, 580 or something that all the people who bought the game on release, you've been playing for a year, doesn't matter. But if you just bought the game, you know, in July of 2022 or something, you know, that's awesome. There's a lot of wiggle room there for them to improve the game. Also, any item you purchase from the faction shop. So if you buy the faction gear, even if you hit level 60, immediately go grind faction tokens and buy the faction gear stuff, faction shop gear, you'll be able to use that at full gear score. So that's also really nice. When these changes are implemented, gear score scaling will only apply to items sold or traded after the patch. So any items obtained prior to this patch will not be impacted or reduced in any way. Huh. Oh wow, I didn't even catch it the first time I read this. So I think what they're saying is, if you buy your 600 gear score stuff right now, you're like grandfathered in, is what I think they're saying here. So like, anything that you guys have now, you will have. It's not going to be taken from you. There's no taking from anybody. It's only for new players, which kind of sucks for new players, but at the same time, the GYPSUM system actually makes the new player experience way better and faster. So the only people who are going to get screwed are people who buy the game at a later date, and all they try to do is make money on the trading post and buy their stuff, which is basically what I would have done, although I got my crafting up personally, but you know. When we thought about it more, reducing power for existing players is just unacceptable and something we will not do. We initially thought it being only temporary and giving a new path with to gain back that power with GYPSUM would be acceptable. But it is now clear we were wrong. Wow, this is awesome. I'm so glad they are owning up to being wrong. This is amazing. This is just the best thing ever. This updated system will also give players alternate ways to equip themselves if they don't want to engage in the expertise system. Crafting especially will gain even more importance in New World, since any item you craft will be usable at that gear score regardless of expertise. Quest and faction shop items will be other alternatives to good gear, and both are things we can continue to introduce more of in the future, just like I was saying. Oh, so freaking awesome. This is amazing. We acknowledge this change will create a difference between the way the game worked before this change and after. We recognize that some players who haven't hit 60 yet and acquired their gear may feel like the game got harder for them. Hopefully this is offset with the addition of GYPSUM as a new avenue that previous players didn't have, which I agree with 100%. It's easier, way easier to get your expertise up after this change, because the old way exists and the new way. In addition, when we implement the gear score scaling, we will now only reduce the effectiveness to the middle of your expertise and the item's gear score. So you still can equip yourself, guys. You can hit level 60 and buy 600 gear score stuff, and it won't be total crap. So what happens is, so if your musket expertise is 520, and you buy a 600 gear score musket off the market, your effective gear score will be 560. So it won't be 520, it won't be 600, it'll meet in the middle. This combined with the getting to use all perks should create good value in the marketplace for future users. I agree, it's awesome. That's super awesome. I'm really happy about that. December tuning and balance adjustments. Also based on the PTR feedback from playing with the expertise and GYPSUM system, we are going to make a number of tuning and balance adjustments to the system. Please keep in mind that these have not been tested, so consider them directional examples of the changes we are planning for December. So they're going to reduce the cost of crafting of a GYPSUM orb to 2.5 coins instead of 100, and 5 coins for the cast, which I don't know if you guys saw on the PTR when I was streaming it, but it was like 600 coins to make each one. It was insane. And we decided there was no need to add another coin expense for our level 60 players, but kept a minimal amount so endgame territory owners can earn a little more tax income. Also, the Topaz GYPSUM, they changed it to daily instead of weekly and reduced the crafting ingredients to make it less difficult to craft. So what they're saying is there's one you craft in your camp, and you can only craft it once a week, which was insane. So I'm actually glad this changed because it just was so weird to have a weekly craft. Like, what? Although I don't know that I agree with making the crafting ingredients less difficult to craft. It was not that difficult, really, to craft. But okay, whatever. Change GYPSUM earn cooldown timers from 22 hours to 18 hours. That's awesome. So it's basically going to give leeway so that, you know, you can figure out your schedule and not have it be like, oh, no, I finished at whatever time, and then tomorrow I have to skip a day now or whatever. You know, oh, I have work or something. But here's something really interesting. In the future, we want to build a global cooldown system to make it easy to coordinate this and other daily activities like crafting and faction missions. So, like, I'm assuming maybe Elite Chest 2 can hopefully get a cooldown that makes more sense. But that is a lower priority than server merges and other critical fixes, so this will not happen in the short to medium term. So expect that to happen like spring to summer of 2022 would be my guess, based on what they're saying. Also, adjust, maybe as far as fall, but probably spring to summer. Adjust the way expertise bumps work. Oh, this one's huge. So there is a minimum as well as a maximum. Currently, there is no minimum, which can result in a few very bad rolls at the start and really demoralizing players. This will also decrease the average bumps needed to get from minimum to maximum expertise. Now, here's an insane insight into how they're thinking. Their goal is to average 35 bumps to get to 600 gear score. So that means that they want the average to be like a little less than 3 gear score per bump. So I'm assuming the max will be like 5 or 6 and the minimum will be like 2 or 3 maybe? I'm not sure exactly, but the average will be like slightly less than 3 if that's what they're saying. So anyway, that's pretty cool. So that it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be this game's. I like all these changes. This game's moving in the right direction. Move GYPSUM rewards from cash to event. So what they're saying is you were getting caches and you have to open them in order to get it, and instead they're just gonna have it just give it to you. So that way it doesn't give people uncertainty and they just hoard all the caches and they're afraid to open them because they're like, maybe the game will change. Maybe I should just not open these and later they'll change it and I'll be able to get more from them or whatever. So that people won't bait people into doing that. Thanks again for your feedback. One of the benefits of sharing our plans prior to final implementation is hearing your sentiment and then adjusting our designs accordingly. As in, oh my goodness, I cannot express to you guys enough how thrilled I am for these changes. This is amazing. Like, I don't know. I was the one saying, I was advocating for like adding an additional gypsum for gatherers or something, but this is okay. This works. At this point, then gatherers and crafters don't need to get their gypsum up as quickly, because they can just go, well, I'm just going to spend 400 hours grinding out all my crafting professions, and I'll just make my own gear. I'm going to spend 400 hours grinding out my crafting professions, getting my own trophies, doing it all myself, and then getting the same stuff as the people who killed monsters. And it may take me longer, it may take me shorter, and for most people, especially on dead servers, it's going to take longer than grinding the monsters, but you can do it, you know, and it can be done, and it can be done in a somewhat reasonable time, and you can play the game. You can play the game the way that you want to play the game without getting punished for it. This is amazing. Like, I was honestly so disappointed with the direction of this, because I like the aptitude system, I like the gypsum system. They're great ways to change this game. But the catch was, before this, was it basically was, we want you to kill monsters or go suck it, basically. And now it's like, okay, now we can play the game the way we want to play the game, which is why I bought this game, which is why at least 30% of the player base bought this game. Was there are people go, I played WoW, I played EverQuest, I played Elder Scrolls, whatever. I am so bored of killing monsters. Can I play a game where I just gather things and craft? Sometimes I kill monsters, sometimes I fight PvP, but I don't have to kill monsters to get to the end game. I don't have to kill monsters to hit level 60. And that was this game. That was the avenue for these people, myself included. And it's just great. Like, if I want to go kill monsters, I'm going to go play vanilla WoW. I'm not playing this game if I want to go kill monsters, guys. And some of you guys love killing monsters on this game. That's awesome. But we all got to play the game the way that we want to play the game. You know what I mean? I don't know. This is great. So tell your friends, tell everyone you know that they listen to us. Don't be afraid to go to the forums, to talk in the forums, to give feedback in a constructive manner. Not screaming and cursing, in a constructive manner. Go to the forums, give feedback. They do listen. We just got to make sure our voices are heard. If we don't talk, they have no idea. So good job, everyone. Good job to all of you guys in the forums, giving all this awesome feedback, all these great ideas. Some of them got implemented, some of them didn't, but now the game is moving in the right direction. And now I'm absolutely thrilled to see all this get implemented and to see the new future of New World.